First of all, name of Allah. Hi. In this CSS tutorial, we will learn about first line pseudo element. In body tags, we will use heading level 2 and close the heading level 2 heading. Underneath heading level 2, we will use open p element and close the p element. In between p elements, we will use dummy tags just for learning. Copy, paste into paragraph. Now we'll apply CSS on this HTML element. So we will use external style sheet, p selector, use double colon and use pseudo element first hyphen line and open curly braces and close curly braces. In between curly braces, we will use CSS property and value, font size, font weight, font hyphen weight, colon, bold, semicolon. After that, we will use color, colon, orange, semicolon. Press the below button to save the external style sheet, and index.html, press the below button to save the file. Go to the browser and reload the first line pseudo element can only be applied to block level elements the page. Now we will use first letter pseudo element. Only one letter will be affected, and we will use external style sheet. So we will use first letter instead line. So we will remove line and use letter. And change the color purple. Press the below button to save the file. External CSS tutorial.css style sheet and index.html. Press the below button to save the file. Go back to the browser and reload the page and change its size, font size, and XX hyphen large, and change. Save the file. Go back to the browser and reload the page. Now we will use pseudo elements and HTML class. Open Notepad++ and we will use syntax and comments. Use syntax, we will use pseudo elements and HTML class and copy this paragraph and paste underneath this paragraph. Control V use for paste, and now we will use pseudo HTML class use in external style sheet. P selector use. P selector represent two HTML p elements, and class selector and use addition selector, and after that we will use double colon notation and use first letter, first letter, open curly braces and close curly braces. In between curly braces, we will use color and font size, color, colon, maroon, semicolon, and underneath font weight, font size, colon, hyphen, font hyphen size, colon, and use extra large, and use class attribute use equal double quotes and use addition. Save the below button. Press the below button to save the file. Go back to the browser and reload the page. And we will change its color orange. Press the below button to save the CSS tutorial.css file and go back to the browser and reload the page. See the effect. Change the color orange. We will use multiple pseudo elements. Open Notepad++ and remove this paragraph. Only use HTML elements. Now we will use remove this class and selector. Instead, first letter we will use first line, font value 15 pixels. Press the below button to save the external file and reload the page. Now we will learn about marker pseudo elements. Open Notepad++ and remove element and text and remove. Open unordered list and UL tag open and close UL tag element. In between UL element we will use li open and close. Item copy. Underneath we will use order list, in short form OL tag open and close OL tag. Open list, in short form li. Copy. Now we will use CSS. We will use double colon and use marker pseudo element. Open curly braces and close curly braces. We will use color colon blue semicolon. After that, font size font hyphen size colon 30 years semicolon. Press the below button to save the file and index.html. Press below button to save the file. Go back to the browser and reload the page. Now we will use pseudo element and we will use this heading level to copy and paste. Control V use, and after that and paste and use open P element and close the P element. In between P elements we will use dummy text just for learning. Copy, paste in P element and use heading level 2 after copy heading level 2 and paste underneath P element paragraph elements and save the file. Now we will apply CSS on these HTML elements. H2 selector double colon and use before open curly braces and close curly braces. In between curly braces we use content colon URL, use function, and we will use image. I already saved image in image folder, root folder. Open, and we will use this image P. Right click on it, property, type of file .jpg and size 2.30 KB. Image folder name, root folder name, /p image name and dot and use extension jpg, semicolon. Press the blue button to save the file. Index.html already saved. Go back to the browser and reload the page. We inserted some content before the content of an element and before heading level 2. Now we will use after this image will be appear after heading level 2. So in external style sheet CSS tutorial.css we will use after instead before. Press the blue button to save the file. Index.html already saved. Go back to the browser and reload the page. We inserted the image after heading level 2. Now we will use the selection pseudo element and remove heading level 2 and remove heading level 2. Now we will use CSS pseudo-element in external CSS tutorial.css file and remove the CSS and use double colon notation and we will use selection, open curly braces and close curly braces. In between curly braces we will use CSS property and value. Background color colon orange, semicolon. After that color below use semicolon. Press the blue button to save the external file. Index.html already saved. Go back to the browser and reload the page. The double colon selection pseudo element, the CSS properties can be applied to double colon selection, color, background, cursor and outline. The double colon replaced the single colon notation for pseudo element. The single colon syntax was used for both pseudo classes and pseudo element in CSS2 and CSS1. For backward compatibility, the single colon syntax is acceptable for CSS2 and CSS1 pseudo element.